Behind every game, there's a story. Behind every player, there is a person. Welcome to Married to the Game, where we take the attention off of the stadium and into the stands. Thanks for joining us. This afternoon, I have on here my very first dear baseball friend, Carrie Kelly. And Carrie and I, we go way back. We go way back to even before Daniel and I were married. I remember being in our like pre-marriage counseling and Brian Hommel being like, you guys have to find Donnie and Carrie Kelly because they are amazing. You guys are going to love them. And then when we came to Detroit and we met Donnie and Carrie, we were just like immediately bonded and connected. And they were our family for, gosh, like 4 years. So I'm going to let Carrie introduce herself, who she's married to, a little bit about her family and just their baseball story. So, Carrie, take it away. Share what you want.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Kelly, as Bree mentioned. I am married to Donnie Kelly, who is the newly promoted manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's been a year. Um, we have three boys together. Brett is 16, going for his driver's license tomorrow. Luke is 14 today. And our baby is 10. Brooks is 10. So they fill our lives with joy and more baseball. Yes. They all play baseball all year. Well, not all year. I guess they take off in the fall and winter, and then they play basketball. But yeah, so Donnie and I have been together since 2000. I guess we met in 2004. I was in college. He was in AA ball. Um, so we met in January, started dating in April, and we were married basically 2 years later, January of '07. That year, Donnie made his debut with the Pirates. Then the following year, he was kind of up and down that year. The following year, he went to Arizona Diamondbacks. We spent that season in Tucson in AAA. Then after that, he didn't get called up that year. He finished strong. He was kind of frustrated. And we just kind of had a come to Jesus moment. And we're like, what should we do? Should we hang it up? Should mention I was pregnant with Brett. And we were like, I think he wanted to be a provider. I know. And he didn't know if his time in baseball was over. And, we had kind of crossed Detroit off our list. He'd been in the minor leagues there for a long, long time and just never gotten called up to the big leagues. And that winter, there was one team that called, and it was Detroit. So he signed back there. We decided we'd give it another go. And Brett was born in February. Donnie was called up, I think, in April or May that year. Okay. And he was up for the next 6 years with very little time, sent back down. We had a fun run, didn't we, Bree?
Those years, like truly though, when I look back on all of Daniel's careers, I was just telling this to one of my friends that like there was just something so special about that group, like the men and the women. Like I can remember walking that lake, that like pond in Lakeland with a group of women like daily. And it was just, I don't know, it was probably the most like special time just because I just really loved everyone like on the team. It was awesome.
It really was incredible. I was just talking to Erica Scherzer the other day.
Oh my
and
gosh.
we were just saying like, what a blessing that this has been our reality for so long.
Yes.
It's been incredible to do it together and apart, and just to be in baseball for this long is so cool.
Yes. And you truly like married to the game, but like
I'm a lifer.
Your game is life because your dad played professional baseball, right?
He did.
And then your brother also played professional baseball, and your husband, and now he's coaching in professional baseball. So it's like it's really been Do you know any other way? Like, was there ever an option of
No.
like, I don't want to be in this baseball craziness anymore?
Well, my brothers tried really hard to keep me away from any baseball players, but what's meant to be will be. And I think if it was anybody but Donnie, they would have put the kibosh on it, but they gave their blessing and here we are.
Yeah, yeah, you can't fault Donnie for really too many things. So, oh my gosh. So let's see. Well, I guess first let's back up because um when we kind of came on with the Tigers, I remember those were my first women's Bible studies. So I guess just for people that don't know about kind of how the MLB does things, there is something called baseball chapel for the men. And then usually the chaplain's wife or a local women's leader will come in and do Bible study for the women. And in all the years that we were together with the Tigers, it was literally just Carrie, myself, Kathy Tanana, and Carla Totten every
Yes.
week. It was like
Yep.
our own little private study. But I think that's rare, right? Like studies are usually bigger. Like, what have you seen pattern wise? Just what has Bible study meant to you, to your family, to your marriage, like throughout the years?
Yeah, I'd say that was it was a little bit unique to have such a small group. I mean, we had girls come and go throughout,
Mhm.
but for a while it was just you and I. Um, yeah, I think that some organizations are more open to it than others, and that kind of dictates how large it gets, how involved people get. Um, but for me personally, I think it was kind of the anchor for my experience in baseball, something to really hold on to and believe in and just have to come back to. Um, our faith was so important, still is so important.
Mhm.
And Bible study just gave us a chance to deepen it, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know that I mean, it's just hard in general when games are on Sundays, right? Like you don't have the normal church family going experience
Right.
that some
Yeah.
people do outside of the game because your husband is playing in a baseball game. So you have to figure out who is your church, what does your church community look like somewhere, and baseball
And
chapel.
also, our experience is so unique that it was so special to have a group that you trusted to share
Mm,
those, you know, little unique things with.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, because today is Luke's birthday, I feel like we have to share the story
That's story.
of Luke because this was, gosh, maybe Daniel's second year on the team, and Carrie was pregnant for Luke, and the guys were on a long road series. I don't even know
Where were
where
they? In Minnesota, I think.
somewhere. And I remember Carrie asking me, like, hey, would you be able to just come and stay at the house? Like, just in case. I'll be good. Like I labored for like days with Brett, so it's gonna be fine. Like, but just come and stay. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds so fun. Um, and then what ended up happening, Carrie?
Well, yeah, I remember having contractions at night and thinking, oh yeah, well, I had contractions with Brett and then I was in the hospital for 12 hours. Um, so I kind of pushed them off, got in the tub, kind of just tried to, you know, let it pass, but it did not pass. So remember I called Christina Avila, our girlfriend
Yes.
Christina, probably later than I should. And she had to drive probably 45 minutes to get to us to stay with the kids so that you could drive me to the hospital.
Yes.
Um,
And at what
and
point
when
did you
I
call
got
Donnie?
there, I think when it became apparent that this was only headed in one direction.
Yeah.
And also, I think I tried to let him sleep a little bit. Like I tried to make it, I, I don't know if he had his phone on ring or what was going on that night, but I feel like maybe around 7 a.m. I called him.
You were really
I
looking out for him. You're like, I don't
I
want to
know.
inconvenience him
I
in
know.
any way, but I might have a baby sooner than.
I just well, we'll tell the end of the story how I massively inconvenienced him in the end. Uh, so Christina arrives, Bree drives me up to the hospital, which was another, what, 30 minutes than
Yeah.
West Bloomfield from where I was.
Yes, it was not close. I was
It was
driving
not
like
close.
100.
Yes, and I got there and what I think I was in the hospital for maybe 15 minutes before I delivered him.
It was 18 minutes from the time I
18.
dropped you off. I remember them being like I just have these images in my head of I'm like they're pushing you in your bed and I have your suitcase and I'm like running with the suitcase like what is happening?
Oh, I'm just happy that you have kids after that experience, Bree.
Yeah. You kept saying that
I'm happy I didn't put you off.
this is gonna be the worst thing because you're never gonna want to have kids after it. But it wasn't the worst thing. You were a trooper. I can remember being in the car like, are you all right? Like the, we're gonna make it. It's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna have to
I was
put a
not
baby
all
in the
right
car.
in the car, Bree. I was not all right. I might have said I was, but I was not.
You're like, it's
We
fine.
should probably mention that Donnie did not get home in
Yeah,
time.
yes, we should mention that the phone call was a
Yeah,
little
when he landed, he called and said, I'm hurrying, I'm coming. And I said, don't hurry, stop at home, get the other two because, or get Brett because the baby is here. And he was like, what is it? I said, because we didn't find out with Luke. And I said, it's a boy. It's another boy.
yes. Oh my
So the poor
goodness.
guy missed the birth of his second son.
But like
But
this is that's why I think like just sharing stories and being married to the game and just dispelling like some of the misconceptions I think that people have about our life in baseball and how it's like so glamorous and so easy. And don't get me wrong, there are a ton of blessings and, like we have very full, abundant lives, but there's also the reality of like, hey, when your child is born, you only get like how many hours is it?
I think it's 48.
48 hours from the time you
Maybe
leave to the time you get back ish,
it
somewhere
might
in there.
be, yeah, it might be 3 days. I'm not sure. It's not many hours though.
It's not many hours. And it's like, and then you have to get back to playing baseball. So you're on one hand, like having a baby. And on the other hand, you're like, well, I really don't want to call him too soon because we only have so many hours. And
Right.
like, that's the reality of being married to the game is sometimes
Yes.
not all that cushy and you miss the birth of your kid. And now
Yeah,
Luke
that
is
happens.
14, and that's crazy that it's been 14
I
years
know.
since that
I
moment.
can't believe it. We still look the same.
You totally. This hat is what now 14, 13 something years
Wait, is
old.
that from 2011? Yeah, yep, that's it. It's the year he's born.
That's the year. See? Yeah, no, that's crazy. But I feel like it too is just, and I texted you this the other day, like I feel like it was such a special experience to get to share with you. And like our lives are always connected because of it. Like I'm never gonna forget that day. You're never gonna forget that day. And it's just one of
No
those
way.
stories that's like just a funny story of baseball. But
Yeah. Remember we got together this spring training and I was
yes,
trying to explain to my friends who I was going to see. I was like, yeah, the girl who was there when Luke was born.
yes, they're like,
My
who?
friend Bree. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here is a question to kind of just redirect the conversation a little bit. And there's probably many of them, but for you, what is the most memorable game moment for you as a spouse or a family?
Um, well, I would have to say as a spouse, it was that game in Detroit when Donnie hit the sacrifice fly to walk the game off. And I say that because I had been praying that year consistently for an opportunity for him, just opportunity. And when he stepped to the plate, I still get chills thinking about it. I knew, Like I knew he was going to do something to positively impact that game, and then he did. And I can never, I just can't forget that moment. I mean, there were many cool moments, but that one for me was the coolest because of how long and hard I prayed for that opportunity.
Yeah, no, I love that. I will never forget when Donnie came in as a pitcher. And that year, he had played like every position that there was except for pitcher somehow.
Yes.
And I remember just sitting there and being like, "Are you okay, Carrie? Like, are you gonna be all right?"
Again, no, I'm not okay. That was actually the most scary moment for me when he was on the field pitching because he obviously didn't throw as hard as a real pitcher. So you never know what the ball's going to do off the bat. These
Yeah,
guys who rush, I was just so scared he was going to take a comebacker,
yeah,
but it all ended okay.
it all ended okay. Um, this is just like a funny question, but how many hot dogs do you think you've eaten in your life? Ballpark hot.
Honestly, I am not a hot dog girl.
Oh, so not that many.
Yeah, no, not that many. And actually, I still will pack my own food and eat it in the family room.
That's amazing. That is
I can't
amazing.
even imagine if I would have eaten ballpark food at every game all year, every year. I don't know.
Yeah. Life would be a little different.
Yeah, a little.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so what's your like if you're gonna get a snack at the ballpark and you're not a hot dog person, what's your like, I'll get that snack?
Ice cream with sprinkles. Just
Oh,
vanilla ice cream with sprinkles.
sprinkles. Okay, amazing.
Yep.
Um, how has being married to a pro athlete shaped your personality or identity? Like what are like big lessons that you have learned being, being in this pro athlete kind of space?
Well, I think that I spent so long at the beginning of Donnie's major league career being insecure that I wasn't enough, that I was faking it, that I was, I don't know, just not as good as these other girls who are around me.
Mm,
And just learning that who I am is enough. Like
amen.
I'm enough. I think that is the biggest lesson that I think because of who we just drew people together and it created um, that camaraderie, that like super team environment, not just for the guys, but for the wives too. And you were saying about how we had a great group. That was just that group. I've never had a group like that.
Mm,
I I hope to again someday, but that group was just it was special.
it was. It was special. And the as life is, right? Like you only realize how sweet of a season you're in
Yes.
when you're looking back on it, when you're maybe
Yep.
in a not sweet season. Like,
Yep.
you know. Carrie, you also have some athletic skills in you as well. Will you share a little bit about you and just your history in sport?
Sure. Yes. I played basketball collegiately at Wagner College, which is on Staten Island. And then I went over to Ireland and played a year of pro ball when I was done. And at that point, I had just met Donnie, and we were so in love that I came home, we got married, we started our life together. But um, I had a good run. I loved playing. It was super fun. Took me to some incredible places, and um, I miss it a little bit.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, um I love that part. And like this whole platform is about trying to just rewrite the narrative on like who these player wives are. because all the reality shows and stuff will show you like one version of a player wife. And
Sure.
there is some truth, of course, to that. But there's also like the majority of these other women that are like talented in their own right. They're educated, they have families that they're running, they're doing it all. And I just want to like just take the attention off of the stadium and put it like into
Right.
the stands. That's really
Sure.
like I think any of our husbands, if they were being honest, would say like I would not be able to do this and have a family had it not have been for my wife, my spouse. So, um, and not to toot our own horns, but it's just the reality of life for us.
It is. Yeah.
Um, I'm wondering if you could just take a few minutes and walk us through um, just your testimony a little bit. Like, who is Jesus to you? What has your faith meant throughout how many years have you guys been in the game now? And just
My good.
balancing like life and adulthood
Yeah.
and familyhood.
So I was raised in a really strong Catholic home. I was raised in church. I knew all about God, Jesus, all of that. But it wasn't until Donnie and I got together that I really took personal ownership of it. Uh, he just asked me a simple question. He said, "If you died today, would you go to heaven?" And I was hemming and hawing, like, well, I think I'm a good person. I think I've done what I need to get to heaven. And he's like, well, all you need to do is believe in Jesus Christ. And that's it. You don't have to do anything. I
Mm-hmm.
was like light bulb moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point on, I kind of started to take it a little more personally and dive in. And then in 2000, wait, was it 21? No, 2020, December 2020. I had a stroke, a massive like life flight stroke. And as I was laying on the floor, well, Donnie picked me up and put me into bed, and he called 911. And as I'm sitting there waiting for the ambulance to arrive, he just started praying over me. And it was it was the most calm, surreal feeling I've ever had. I felt completely at peace, completely at ease, completely, I don't know. I just felt covered. Um, and then he went downstairs and he prayed with my boys. And then he just started texting people asking for prayers for me. And so I was out for about 3 hours. I was not a candidate for the TPA because they didn't know when the stroke started. They didn't know if it started in my sleep or when it started. So I had an emergency thrombectomy, and I was only in the hospital for maybe 48 hours because that was at the height of COVID, and they just wanted to get me out of the hospital environment. So they sent me home quickly, but I really wrestled with with God, like, why, how did you let this happen? Why did this happen? And he just kept, coming back to me with like, that my strength is made perfect in your weakness. Like,
Mm-hmm.
allow this to allow me to be glorified through this.
Mm-hmm.
And as I worked through it, uh, I came to, it's not that I didn't, like, I always believed in Jesus Christ, in God, but now I know, like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know he's there. I know he's got me. I know I'm in his sight. He's got his hand on me. I just know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think well, one, just thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable because obviously these things are very traumatic and deeply personal and you did not have to share. But I think these are the stories that dispel the darkness in in our worldly life, right? Is when we tell stories that are touched by heaven because there's so many components like just feeling the peace of the Holy Spirit just covering you. The fact that, Donnie was home, like he wasn't on
Yes.
the road when it happened. You weren't solo parenting in your house. He was able to immediately call the ambulance. There's just all these nuances, and like we're real people, real things happen. I'll never forget, like when Drew was born with her, we found out she had a congenital heart defect. We very much did the exact same thing of like, we need to reach out to everyone that we know that is
Hmm.
a believer and that will support us through this just in prayer. Like, we just need
Yeah,
to start.
just storm the heavens.
Yeah.
Yep.
And prayer works. Like, prayer is a weapon. And when you call on the name of Jesus, like, he's responding, like he's in the moment. And life is not always mountaintop moments, right? Like even when you're playing in professional baseball, it's not like you're just riding on mountaintop moments. Like there are trenches and valleys
Right.
and
Yeah,
creeks.
you're not insulated from real life, you know?
Right. Exactly. And that's what I believe is like why God even gives us a platform is to share about who he is with the world. And so oftentimes the only way we can do that is in the times that we really meet him and when we really need him. And that's when we're in our really dark moments. And, when health crises are one of those really dark moments that
For sure.
you just need your faith to get you through.
For sure.
And how are you doing now? Like, how is your
I am doing great.
fit?
Yeah. I have a little ear thing still going on, but it's minor and it's more of just an annoyance than anything else. So I'd say overall, I'm doing fantastic.
Good. Praise God for that. We're gonna switch. I'm gonna switch my hats because this is a Detroit hat, and then I'm putting on my Pirates hat because that's where you're at now.
There you go.
We're making the swap. Um, but I'm really curious to know just will you explain a little bit of the dynamic of going from being a player in the game to then being or a player's wife in the game, I guess, to being a coach's wife in the game? Like, is it the same? Is it different? Like, what?
Well, I am still kind of trying to figure out that whole thing because I still do feel connected to the players' wives having lived that. And I feel like I have something to offer to them.
And you do.
But yeah, but there does need to be a line between players and coaches. I don't know. I've learned a lot. We were with Houston in 2019 and then we came over to Pittsburgh in 2020. So I've learned a lot from geez, everyone I've come across has offered me a little tidbit of how to be a coach's wife. Um, but yeah, I just try to be available for the players' wives if they want me around, and if I feel that they don't, I kind of try to step aside. And um, we have a great group of coaches' wives in Pittsburgh, and we have fun together. It's a blast. It's kind of like it kind of feels the same as being a player's wife, except now my group is the coach's wife. So
Good advice.
yeah, it's
What?
been a really smooth transition, really.
That's awesome. What would be like your one piece of advice to maybe a wife that her husband played and now is stepping into coaching?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to think about that, Brie. I'm not sure.
Okay, you think about it for a few minutes. Let your mind let your mind wander. Um, and I'm gonna ask you just a few rapid fire, like just fun
Okay.
questions, and then we'll come back. Okay,
Okay.
if I remember, we'll come back. Okay, what is your perfect date night?
Well, see, we prefer date breakfast.
Date
So
breakfast. Yes,
yes,
that is a big.
perfect date breakfast. There's this little place out here near where we live. It's called Bloom Cafe. It's just the cutest little spot. It's in you eat in a greenhouse. So
Oh,
my perfect date is to go to Bloom and then to go to the park and take a walk because walking is where we solve all of the world's problems.
yes, I love that. Um, your what is always living in your purse?
Oh, geez. My chapstick?
Sick. Yep.
I'm
Okay.
a minimalist. I don't
Yes.
really know.
I would say like baby wipes, like always still because I
Okay. I
messy.
see. I'm out of the baby wipe
You're out
stage
of
of
it.
life.
So chapstick, that's cool. It
Yeah,
gets
it's
smaller.
chapstick.
The necessity
Yeah,
is much
it's
smaller
a
option.
lot easier to carry than baby wipes.
Yes. Um, let's see. Okay, so you spend a lot of time at ballparks. What is like something that is great to have or invest in for ballpark days? Like whether it's mom of player or
You said it's great to what?
it's great for being at the ballpark, like multiple
Oh,
games, like more mom type stuff.
hmm. I don't know. I feel like we're so spoiled with the family room
Yeah.
that I will come to the field with nothing but my cell phone
Yeah.
and my ID to get into the family room and
Yes.
get around the stadium however I need to.
What about like at Brett?
Again, minimalist.
Yes. What about as a mom, like for Brett's tournaments or like youth baseball stuff?
Oh, um, well, I think the key to a successful travel baseball weekend is a good sound machine so that
Oh,
everyone can sleep,
okay.
especially when you have three boys and a mom in one hotel room.
Sound machine.
Sound machine
Yes.
and a salad spinner to wash their pants in the sink. Have you heard of this?
What? A salad
Yes.
spinner for pants.
Salad spinner. Yes. You wash the pants and you put them in the salad spinner and you dry them out that way.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. See, there are things that us baseball crazies know that the world would not know. Um, okay, who is more competitive, you or Donnie?
I would say outwardly Donnie is, but I internalize my competitiveness and I go just as hard. He just doesn't know I'm going just as hard, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, actually. It makes a lot of sense.
That's what you get when you're raised with three brothers who are extremely competitive. You learn to
Yes,
internalize it and just go hard.
yes. I love that. Um, anything else that you just have on your heart that you want to share? Like, oh, we didn't talk about this, um, or maybe you remember some sort of advice, or or maybe it's just making the transition from playing into whatever's coming next. What was helpful for you guys?
Um, I would say the most helpful thing for Donnie and I navigating through his baseball career or anything else he might do is coming at it with open hands, like not trying to hold on to anything too tightly, leaving all the space for God's will, just wherever you want us, that's where we'll go. You know, if if this is for us, please bless it. And if it's not, then lead us away from it. That's always kind of been our motto and what we kind of cling to. And um, it's working for us
It's been working great.
so
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that. That's it for the interview part. I will stop recording here in a second, but I just want to say thank you for coming and sharing your story and just your experience in life in the game.
Yeah. Thank you, Bree, for having me and giving me a platform to share my story and talk a little bit about our struggles and our successes and give it all the glory to God.
Yes, absolutely. All right. I love you, my friend.
Love you. Bye.